Thank you guys so much. Felicity Gilbertson is with me. And, Felicity, usually it's like, oh, that's Tanek and Eloya's mom. You have a name.
I do
We
have
just
a name.
never use it. We
No.
just, oh, look at it.
I'm
Tanek's
so
mom's
used to
here.
it.
Yeah, well, it's good to see you. It's day 2.
Yep, day
You were
2.
with us. You were with us yesterday, and
Yep.
we talked about Tanek yesterday.
Yep.
And today we will be talking about Eloya because both are your babies, Children's Miracle Network Hospital babies.
Yes, they
And part of a great big family. Now, yesterday, something we didn't talk about, and we'll get to Eloya here in a second, but you have a special Facebook page that you set up. Tell us about that. I had no idea you did that.
So we had Eloya, and she had gastroschisis, and then we had Tanek, and we found out he had gastroschisis. So I figured this must have been like a calling or something. And I remember with Eloya, I couldn't find hardly anything on the internet for support groups or anything about gastroschisis.
Why don't we explain just a little bit what that is?
So
before we move on?
gastroschisis is where their stomach doesn't completely close, so they have a hole next to where their belly button would be, and they can have as little as just their bowels out, or even their stomach and other organs can be outside. So yeah, they both were born with that. So I couldn't find hardly any support groups to help me get through that, even finding out the first time. So after we found out about Tanek, I was like, I have to do something. I went on and I made my own Facebook page, and we're up to about 1,000 likes right now. And I get messages I've gotten one from Australia from a lady helping her, New York, Canada, California, Florida. I mean, we're getting them everywhere. And
What kind of questions are you getting?
pretty much what to expect, how did you manage, what do I say when I'm feeling this, when something's happening, just how to get through pretty much day to day when your child's in the NICU. It's hard, and you don't, going through it, especially once, you don't know what to expect, and it's scary. It's truthfully scary, even going through it twice. So just to have somebody that you can go on to and be like, hey, can you help me? I just need a vent. And we have multiple people on that page that just message me to vent.
What was your reaction when you checked your page and then you had one from Australia?
I was like, holy bonkers. My little old page from little old Wisconsin is making it that far, and I'm able to help somebody way over in Australia. How cool is that?
And then you had a message from Sparta.
I did. I actually, yeah, it's crazy.
You decided, maybe Heidi decided, we were teaming up together, and you said, you know what, I think we're going to toss a challenge out here.
I did.
Tell us about that.
So we, as in Eloya and Tanek, and myself, challenge Al's Auto Body to call and make a pledge.
And why did we choose Al's Auto Body?
Because Eloya and Tanek's dad, Scott, works at Al's Auto Body.
That's a good reason. That's a really good reason. And I see Bob's name was tossed around.
Yep. I challenged Bob to call and make a pledge.
Okay. So, you know what we're going to do? We better give them a phone number so they know where to call.
Yep.
781-1477, 781-1477, 1-800-853-6889. And we already have 6 calls into this. Since you guys sat down. That's what cowbells are made for. So we have UPS group over here answering our phones in our phone bank. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Let's hear it. Brown is a beautiful color. And we thank you so much.
Color, just so you guys know.
All right. Okay. So Felicity, it's your favorite color. So it was only appropriate that they're here on our phone bank, the Blood Center of Wisconsin phone bank. You guys, thanks for taking time out of your day. We know what that means.
Yes, thank you.
We know what it means when they're getting up in the morning, getting these kids ready to come out of the house and do something different. We know the struggles that it takes. And the reason we know it is because you tell us about it.
Yep.
And that's how we find out what goes on at your house. So where's the future at? What are we doing with Eloya?
Right now, she's actually doing pretty good. Just a little less than a year ago, she did have eye surgery. Because when she was born, her eyes were pointing into her nose pretty significantly. So she did have eye surgery, and she's doing great from that. She just had, this summer, her tonsils and adenoids taken out, and she overcome that like a champ also.
I see they're having a little treat here. Do you have to be careful with the nutrition?
As of like right now, not so much. I mean, when they do eat a lot of potatoes or pasta or starchy food, I mean, it does make going to the bathroom a little bit more difficult, but I mean, they've come so far. Eloya is just a champ when it comes to it. She hasn't had to take any medicine for it or anything.
Things have changed because in the beginning, just getting to the grocery store, I bet that was a hurdle.
Oh, yeah. Well, because I didn't want to, like, especially when they just came home, like, I don't want to take them out and have a whole bunch of people come up and, like, touch them and with germs and everything. So just to get somebody to come over that I would trust to have to deal with the issues that they had. Because when Eloya did come home, she still had her stomach was still open. So
you had a baby come home with her stomach open.
Yep. So she had her surgery at about 9 days old, and she was so tiny. She was 4 pounds when she was born, and she dropped even before her surgery. I want to say she was right around the 2-pound range. And so when she went into surgery, they closed it, and the surgeon told us, like, it might pop open because she just didn't have enough skin. Well, later on that night, it ended up popping open. So instead of, like, trying to take her back down and putting her back under and trying the surgery again when we knew it wasn't going to work, we chose to just let it heal naturally and just ointments and bandages and packing it and whatnot. So when we had her, I didn't leave her side at all. I think I went home once a week and for a few hours to see my other kids, or people would bring them up here for us to see them. But I knew how to do all of her treatments, all of her care, everything. So they felt pretty good about sending her home because I was already doing everything.
Another word that gets tossed around a lot when we talk to families is stress, and the stress under the roof of your home. Oh. And Children's Miracle Network hospitals, one of the goals is to alleviate a little of that stress.
I think they alleviate it a little bit more.
Well, and what did they do for you?
So even in the hospital, for me and my fiance, they got us food vouchers, they got us gas cards to get to and from Sparta and La Crosse a few times a week. They even gave a few people that came up to bring my kids up, they gave them gas vouchers for bringing them up. Eloya, I was on, the only breast pump that would work for me was the hospital grade. They paid for me to have the hospital grade breast pump at my house. They also paid for formula because she just wasn't putting on enough weight, even with just my breast milk. So we had to supplement with this formula, but it was like really, really expensive. And so they paid for that, for me to have that for the entire year. And I think it truly, truly made a difference because she's already so tiny.
I can see that. When you get a call from Ashley or Heather and they say, can you come help us out again this year? What's your thought?
In a heartbeat. No ifs, ands, or anything. I'm there. Like, I truly have a passion about it because Children's Miracle Network made a ginormous difference in our lives. And I just want nothing more but to give back to them.
Yesterday, we had 22 babies upstairs, 22 sick babies. Today, there's 10.
Oh.
12 babies went home yesterday. Can we have a ring for that, please?
Woo!
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you, UPS team. You're good. You're great. And, it's just the excitement. We saw the babies. We saw some of them go home last night.
That is
and it's
truly amazing.
It's just a wonderful thing. And while we were talking to one of the moms this morning, a very touching story. She lost her baby. While we were talking, a baby was born.
Oh.
We heard the chimes.
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. These are real stories, and this is what happens.
Amazing.
781-1477. That's our number for the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon. Anything else we want to add? Because we are getting calls in like crazy.
That's so awesome.
We are getting calls in.
I just want to add that even if you only can donate some change in your car or $1 or $10, that everything really does make a difference. And it's the thought that counts, and $1 can go an extremely far way. Like, it really does make a difference.
We're going to end on that. Honey, thanks for coming back and seeing us again today. Thanks for bringing the munchkins with you.
No problem.
We love them to pieces. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon, a service of the La Crosse Radio Group.